So, how many of you knew what you wanted to be when you grew up? Anyone? I knew exactly what I wanted to be, and I never thought that I would be here right now. So, as mentioned, I'm Amanda Mallardo. I'm a senior user experience designer and a prototype engineer. I've gotten to work with clients all over the world and on amazing projects. I've built demos for CES, and I have 3 patents granted by the US government. So I can officially call myself an inventor. And when I was a kid, I never thought in a million years I'd be an inventor. I thought that title was saved for super smart genius scientists like Tesla or Einstein. I never thought that I would be able to do that. So a little bit of background. Uh-oh. It worked a minute ago. Okay, here we go. So I come from a middle-class family in Kenosha, Wisconsin, and I grew up in the 1980s there. So back then, it was mostly known for drive-through liquor stores and third-shift bars. So it wasn't like the nicest town in the world. My dad sold flooring. My mom was a waitress, secretary, sold Avon, did a lot of odd jobs. So they worked really hard and long hours. So I was the oldest, and I had a brother and sister. So I was in charge of taking care of them while my parents were working. So in the summertime, it was basically a free-for-all. The kids just roamed the streets, and we got to do whatever we wanted. And we basically kind of paved our own direction in life. And as you know, as kids are, it's really easy for them to get into a wrong group of people. And Kenosha had plenty of bad influences. And I credit one thing for saving my life, and the skateboard. This is the exact replica of the first skateboarder I ever had. My mom bought it for me at a garage sale. I begged her to get it for me. I rode this thing all around town. It was the best thing I've ever had. I thought it was the greatest thing. I fell in love immediately. I just loved the freedom it gave me to just go where I wanted and do what I wanted to do. I thought it was so great that I convinced my brother to convince my parents to get him one for his birthday so we could start our own skate crew. And this is my first skate crew. It's my brother and a neighborhood kid, and there's a couple of other neighborhood kids that aren't pictured. And there's my little sister who didn't skateboard, but like a little sister, had to tag along. And so these are the people I hung out my summers with all summer long, every day. We'd go to each other's houses, watch skate videos, learn all the tricks that the pros were doing. They would teach me what was cool and what wasn't. And eventually I found out that the board that I had was not cool, nor could I do the tricks that the pros were using. So I came up with what I call my first business model innovation. So my brother had a paper route at the time, and he was about to get fired because he wasn't delivering the papers. So I approached him, and I was like, hey, I don't mind getting up in the morning and going for walks. I'll deliver the papers. You're good with people, so you can go and collect the money later on, and we could split the earnings half and half. We may have shook hands, I don't remember. But either way, I had my board by summertime, and our crew was together, and we were learning the tricks like the pros were doing. So that's my first board that I actually paid for myself, and I was so excited about it. As you can see, I didn't care if I was in it. I just loved the board. And this is about the time where I decided what I wanted to do for a living. I wanted to draw skateboard graphics. So I drew on everything, for everyone, on everything, until college. I went to school at the University of Wisconsin, Milwaukee, and got a degree in graphic design. Hopefully I could graduate and get a job doing skateboard graphics. And so I went through school and everything, and I still skated with my crew. And as I was going through school, it kind of fell by the wayside because I wanted to focus on my studies. But I was really into what I wanted to do. So when I graduated, I realized that if I wanted to draw skateboard graphics, I'd have to move to California, because at the time there was no virtual working and stuff like that. So I couldn't afford that. So I was just like, all right, I'll just get a marketing job in Wisconsin. And so I got my first job at this marketing firm. I was like, all right, I'll just do some flyers, some logos. This will be cool. I'll save some money. I'll go to California. But then they came to me with a project my first week there. They're like, hey, we need somebody to build a website for Abbott Laboratories. And I was like kind of freaking out because I was like, I didn't take any math classes in college, no computer science. I was an art major. I just drew pictures. And so I was like, but I needed a job. And I was like, yeah, I can do that. And so what I did is I bought some books. I played with some code and stuff like that. And it wasn't really clicking for me. I was like, yeah, this is fine, but I don't know how I'm going to learn this that fast. And so at the time, I was really actually looking for another, community to be a part of. I was still skateboarding, but I was mainly going by myself to the skate parks. And I noticed something when I'd go to the skate parks, and I was like, hey, there's no girls that skateboard. And I'm like, am I the only one? And then I was like, why don't more girls skateboard? Like, it's so fun, and like, I love it. And then I started going through my head and thinking about all the things that I went through when I was skateboarding. And I was like, well, maybe they don't think they're good enough because the boys are really good. Or maybe they're afraid of getting heckled because that happens to me all the time. So I was like, well, this is a great opportunity to like help a community that I want to be a part of, or at least see who else is out there. I'm going to build a website for females that skateboard. So that's how I learned how to build websites. I ran this site for about 10 years. It was basically one of the first social networks for women that skateboard at the time. I had a photo area where people could email photos and I would upload them, and videos and I would upload them. I put trick tips up there. I had a message board where other women could connect and everything. And I've learned so much about technology through this site. At one point, the site was featured on the Canadian version of MTV, and my bandwidth was through the roof, and I got a bill for $1,000 for 1 month for a web server host. And then I learned very quickly about data usage and bandwidth and everything like that. At another point, somebody hacked into my database and took down the site and put up a Girls Don't Skate Better page or something like that. And so I learned very quickly about database management and MySQL and how important it is to keep your data secure. And so I actually used this as a platform to learn technology. And I was able to take the what I learned through the technology to my professional work, as well as serving this community who I really loved and I liked to be a part of. And so that was the best thing about it. And I will just mention that I've met pretty much all my friends through this. I met my husband through this website and everything like that. And I got to travel all around the country, hooking up with other groups of girls that skateboard in different states. And I actually have a little video clip of what I could show of us skateboarding in California with some California girls. There's supposed to be music playing. I actually don't know the song. Like, you can put your own song in your head. Yeah. So this was in Orange County, California, at the Vans Skate Park, which is a pretty big, like, important park in the skateboard industry and community. They have a lot of contests there, a lot of pros go there. So this was a really cool opportunity. I already skated, yeah. I think this girl was like 11 years old. She's pretty insane. It was Bill and Sebastian that was playing during that. And so the website was a bridge, like I said, for learning tech throughout my professional life. And I eventually ended up, so this is how I got to do a bunch of work for clients and larger clients like Harley Davidson, stuff like that. And I eventually ended up at Tebow Corporation, where we worked with entertainment data and did guidance systems there. And we did a lot of next generation products, and a lot of the stuff that we showed at CES actually won innovation awards. So I was just like amazed at like the opportunities that I received through that, just learning that website. And then so at this time I decided I wanted to like take a break from skateboarding, and I wanted to start my family. And so I took a break, but I still remained really connected with the community. And it was really easy at this time because of social media and Facebook and Instagram and everything. And I thought it was a great thing that through those vehicles, you can really connect with random people real easily. But I saw a challenge with just connecting with like the group of people that I wanted to connect with, such as women skateboarders. So what I did between feeding and sleeping times when I was on maternity leave is I built a mobile app that filters Instagram posts using the hashtag Ladies of Shred, which my friend in California termed. So this was cool. So I could just sit there while I'm feeding and be like, oh, cool, look at these tricks that these ladies are doing, and message them and stuff like that. And so once again, skateboarding was the vehicle for me to learn this technology. And so back to today, I still keep in really good contact with the skateboarding community. This is at a workshop that I go to every year at Anderson Ranch. The instructor, his name is Joshua Davis. Not only does he skateboard, but he's a really good digital artist, and he writes code in Java to produce these amazing digital pieces. His murals are actually right out there on the 12th floor. He did all the artwork on the murals and stuff like that. So I learn from him every year. And it's basically the same people that go every time. So this is like another little crew of mine. And so what we did this last year is we used a bunch of cameras set up around the room to detect motion. And then we detected our motion, and then we placed artwork over it. And what I'm hoping to do with this is take it to a project that I'm working on at here for the location user interface that we're working on. So once again, an example of how my community has helped me, push technology through my professional work. And then back at home, I have a new skateboard community, and they're all moms and parents. And we coined the Breeders Club. And we meet at skate parks every Tuesday with our kids, and we kind of just have a picnic, and we skateboard around, and the kids play. So it's pretty awesome. And then that top picture right there is kind of me on babysitting duty. I have them all on skateboards. So, and then once again, I'm able to take what I've learned in tech and take it to my community through our creative center. And I teach kids, mainly these kids, but like other kids in the community about tech, and I teach them workshops and stuff like that. So it comes full circle. So as you can see, driving innovation, it's really important to have a tight-knit community where you can bounce ideas and learn things from. So thank you, and I hope you liked my talk.